Hey everyone! It's been a while since I've done this, but it's time for a much needed and very important update video as far as the channel goes. I know some of you haven't been noticing that, my uploads haven't been as consistent as they have been lately, and there was a good reason for it. I didn't want to tell you all until things were confirmed, but I actually just got a new job. If you've been following my community posts, you'll know that a lot of things have been breaking down and I've been needing them replaced and, this, that, and the third. And with this new job, I will finally be able to start working on that and improve my equipment. However, there's a catch to this, right? With this new job, it's one that will have a lot of overtime. It'll allow me to get the money I need quicker, but it also means that I will have less time to work on the channel itself. And so what does that mean? Well, if you're watching Sonic Frontiers, absolutely nothing. I'll be able to finish the game in time because I won't start work until December 29th. So I should have plenty enough time to finish the game. Now that I have most of the work stuff out of the way, I should start being able to upload that daily once again and just finish out the game. That's my plan. The real tricky one is Fire Emblem. So let's talk for a second. What my plan is for Fire Emblem, I'm pretty sure, based on the episodes that I have recorded, that I'm close to the end of the game now. So for Fire Emblem, for when it comes to the Golden Wildfire route, ideally, I also plan to finish that route. I'd like to say before I get started with the job, but even if I get started with the job, I still feel like I would at least, finish recording it and, editing it maybe. But long story short, I still plan to finish that route out. But when it comes to doing the other two routes, see, there's a lot I had to consider. First off, we have Fire Emblem Engage that's coming out. At least, I think that's the name of it, right? With the toothpaste main character. That's coming out in January. Then I have this new job as well, but before either one of those came up, I was already questioning, is doing the other two routes for Three Hopes something that I really want to pursue? You see, and I want everybody to really remember this, I've been really playing Three Houses, and Three Hopes is considered Three Houses. I've been playing that game, I think, the longest I've ever played a game in my life. While other people have, played the three routes and they moved on, they either play other games and they come back to Three Houses when they wanted to. For me, it was a constant thing day to day in my life. I was constantly thinking about the Three Houses characters, the world, etc., etc. And honestly, when I was nearing the Crimson Flower route, I was thinking finally I can get a break. Still there was Rhea's route, but if you heard me say, I wanted to put the game on easy mode and just use the Petra strat to win all the routes, because basically I was just wanting to see the story, and then I wanted to finally put the game down. But then Three Hopes came out, the last thing I expected. And I haven't finished the Golden Wildfire route. Based on how things are going, and I already told you all, I made it very clear as we were going through the route, the other two routes, they can't compare to the Golden Wildfire route for me, despite how things might have turned out, because that's my home team. For me, that was Three Houses. I didn't just have them in the Golden Deer route, I also had them in the Blue Lion and the Black Eagle route. My team was there. Even if I didn't have Claude and Hilda, I still protected them. The Golden Deer has been my team, and permadeath team at that, as well as they were my first Fire Emblem experience that I've ever had on the channel, and they'll always have that place for me. And you might remember me saying that the reason I wanted to play the other routes in Three Houses, one was because of gameplay. I like actually playing Fire Emblem games, but also for the story's sake, I was thinking I wanted to know why Dimitri and Edelgard attacked us, and I got that information. I also wanted to know more about them themselves, their story and everything, and I got that. See, for me, when I played the Blue Lion and Black Eagle route, I didn't leave with that many questions that I wanted answered. There wasn't that many things that I wanted to see. But the Golden Deer route, I was feeling like, I wanted to see more on Claude's mentality. I felt like the war was really between Dimitri and Edelgard, and we got swept up in it. There were people I wanted to see of the Alliance, Holst being number one, especially even in Edelgard's route. They teased this man. And I said Holst was a big reason why I wanted to play Three Hopes. If there was one character that I wanted to meet, it was him. And we got him in full force. I had funny moments with him and it was a great time. But when I sit and think about it, I'm thinking to myself, there's not really much that I want to see from the Blue Lions or the Black Eagles in Three Hopes. Like, I would have wanted to meet, all the parents. We pretty much got that. Like, I just met Count Varley, and I think he was the last parent on the high priority list that I wanted to meet outside of the Alliance. There's still people in the Alliance that I wanted to meet, but I got to see that. And I also, when I found out that the gameplay of most of the units, their classes are pretty much the same, and there's some slight variations, but pretty much I can play majority of the classes in one route. So playing the other routes also wouldn't offer that much of a gameplay difference as well. Sure, they have their custom skills, but typically the units, they play the same. As well as, if I'm just gonna be honest, I got all three of my choices in the same route as well, and they got to interact with each other and Claude respectively. Honestly speaking, while there is some stuff that I'm curious about in the other two routes, it's not, really burning questions like it was for Three Houses. I mean, some stuff in the Blue Lion route, I would, if they clarify further on, Dimitri's story, and, maybe if we got to see, Edelgard's mom, his stepmom, I'm also curious to see how Monica is handled and, some stuff like that. But again, it's nowhere near to a character like Holst for me. And personally, I was much more curious about playing Fire Emblem Engage. I know other people weren't as interested in it, but for me, especially after playing Sonic Frontiers, and Sonic Frontiers went back through a lot of Sonic games, and that was my opportunity to go down memory lane with you all. Fire Emblem Engage can do the same thing. We get introduced to other characters, other games that I wasn't able to play with you all on the channel, and I can go through those games as well. So all that to say that I'm thinking, especially since I've been with Three Houses for just so long, bottom line is I want a break. So my thought process was that I didn't want to say that I want to forget the last two routes entirely, right? But if I were to do them, I want to do them differently, and that would be somewhat like streaming. But if I'm going to speak realistically, I think if I were to stream those games right now with the job situation the way it is, I don't think I would be able to stream those two routes in the near future. So basically, I'm thinking that the Golden Wildfire route will be a good place to stop Three Hopes for the foreseeable future. I mean, I always said when I did Three Houses that I kind of didn't want to go back to the Alliance again to kind of end things off, and that's what we're doing, pretty much. We're going through the Golden Wildfire route, and from what I've heard as well, this route is also the most different just by nature, because people are saying you get to see more of Claude's mentality. And as far as Fire Emblem Engage, while I would also like to do that, I'm not sure as to how things will work once I get started with my job. So in short, when it comes to Fire Emblem content, for now I see the Golden Wildfire route being the end until I can figure some more stuff out. Now I want to clarify something. I don't plan to be working this job with a lot of overtime for a long time. In fact, I think maybe 6 months at the most. So I will be getting back into the swing of things. It's just gonna be a while I try to stand on my feet and then try to get a job that's, a bit more easy on the hours. So, because I do think if I started streaming things in general, and that was another thing I wanted to talk about in the future, I think if I were to stream games, then things would be much quicker, because I record games pretty quickly, like pretty much how long it takes people to play games normally. I can record games pretty quickly. It's editing them and uploading them that takes a lot more time. But I am glad I did it for the Golden Wildfire route, because there were many moments I was glad I got to, put my own twist on it. So you might be thinking, okay, well, if I'm not going to be uploading Fire Emblem and I'll be done with Sonic Frontiers, well, what's going to be on the channel? Well, it'll be kind of quiet. Again, I might try to do Fire Emblem Engage, but if I do, I think it'll be pretty slow. I'm not sure, I haven't actually been to the job. I haven't seen how much time I'll have afterwards. I'm more just getting everybody ready for the worst case scenario, but I might end up just posting like some Street Fighter content from time to time. Because Street Fighter 6 is definitely a game I want to play when it gets released, try to get people into it. And it's something easy that I can record that doesn't take much time and isn't a series, Because if I were to do something like Fire Emblem Engage, and I know people will be waiting on the next episode, and I don't like keeping people waiting, where if it's just the Street Fighter where I'm doing multiplayer matches, you can watch the episodes don't link to each other, so to speak. So it's just something to let people know I'm still here, but I'm waiting on a better opportunity to start posting things out. Again, this is the worst case scenario, because for all we know, I might have some time and I might say, okay, we're playing Fire Emblem Engage, and I just do it at a slower pace. But so yeah, that's what's currently the situation here. If the channel made enough money by itself, then I could just use itself to pay for things like a new drive, for example. My computer needs upgrading, vehicles, stuff like that. But since it doesn't, I have to make some changes. So I just wanted to let you all know. If you have any thoughts, as always, please post them down in the comments below. Though know that there isn't much room for me changing things, because I gotta do what I gotta do at this point. But I will try my best to still have content for you all while I'm here. And again, I don't plan this to be a permanent thing, just probably for the next 6 months at the most, I think. So with that being said, hopefully after this video there'll be a Sonic Frontiers episode going out, and then tomorrow, ideally, Sonic Frontiers and Fire Emblem 3 Hopes. So with that being said, thank you all so much for sticking with me all this time. I hope that you all will stick with me as I'm going through this little period. And I will see you all next time.